All right, MCU fans, we are talking the cliffhanger, one of the darkest moments of the entirety of the MCU. No doubt about it. Wow. John Walker publicly executing one of the Flag Smashers at the end of episode 4. This video isn't a review so much as a what's next, like what's going to happen next. So before going forward in the video, please take a moment to hit that subscribe button. Help me reach 200,000. We are so close to 170,000. I can just taste it. Also, follow me on social media. Links are in the description below. Hit that bell notification icon and select all. That way you don't miss out when I post new content. And hit the thumbs up button. I feel like, if I'm not mistaken, it's Wyatt Russell is the name of the actor who plays John Walker, aka the son of Kurt Russell, who was better known in MCU as Ego. And first of all, I just hate those toxic fans. I don't even call them fans. The ones, apparently he's been getting death threats from people who hate him so much because he's the quote unquote new Captain America. His acting's on point. I mean, the fact that he's portraying a guy who we're initially supposed to hate because he's the new Captain America, but we're supposed to emphasize with him because at the beginning of episode 2, I'll never forget the opening scene where we get the first 10 minutes being introduced to the character officially, because remember, he did appear in the cliffhanger episode 1, but all he did was wave and wink and he got so much hate. But at the beginning of episode 2, we got to know a little bit more about the character. And it's like, look, don't make me feel sympathetic for this guy. Then he shows up in the middle of the fight with the Flag Smashers to help out Bucky and Sam. And throughout the episode, it's like he told, Falcon is like, hey, I'm not trying to be Steve Rogers. I'm just trying to be the best Captain America I can be. And to be honest, Sam and Bucky came off as assholes. I mean, Battlestar and the new Cap were literally just trying to help and, hey, let's pull our resources together instead of just working, apart from each other. Let's work let's work together instead of just beside each other and we can get this thing done. But it wasn't until the end where he's like, stay the hell out of my way. And I'm like, oh, no. I was just trying to like this dude, but now he's an asshole. But in episode 4, I really feel like the acting was next level. That goes for all the characters, but just let's talk about Walker because I read the comics. And I feel like even if you weren't a comic book reader, you kind of knew this guy was going to fall from grace. And just the physical, nonverbal acting quirks he has, from the head twitching and, rubbing his temples on his head like he has a migraine, being frustrated. And even Bucky said later in the episode, something's off about Walker. I know crazy when I see crazy because I am crazy. But I will say this much. Remember, Carly's plan was to separate, what do they say, divide and conquer? Because her plan was to get, Sam alone so they could talk, but then separate Cap and Battlestar from Bucky and Sam. And she literally said before she had called Sam's sister that she was going to kill Captain America. And remember, she was about to do it too, because the same guy that Walker killed was the same guy that had him from behind in a position so Carly would swoop in, stab the blade through his chest to kill him. But thankfully, Battlestar had escaped his restraints, tackled Carly to the ground. I don't know if he got stabbed himself, because I do know that he tackled her to the ground before she could stab Walker. I just know that, if I'm not mistaken, she drew back and punched him so hard that he went flying into a pillar and broke his neck. Now, you heard that snap, and it's like, oh, damn, he did. Because Walker went over to check to see if he had a pulse, and he didn't. In the midst of him, trying to deal with what just happened, the Flag Smashers escape. Bucky and Sam, leave in pursuit. And then Walker bursts through a window like he's freaking Batman, does a superhero landing, spots one of the Flag Smashers running away, chases him into the town square, knocks him down with the shield a few times, yelling at, "Where is she? Where is she?" Sorry. Literally. He literally went full on Batman right there. And it wasn't me. It wasn't me. It's basically like, look, I wasn't the guy. I wasn't the one that killed him. I wasn't the one that killed him. And then he takes the shield and, slams it. If you watch Civil War, in the final fight when after Tony had blasted off Bucky's arm and the metal arm, and then Bucky was on the ground, and when Tony had beaten Cap to a pulp and was like, stay down, final warning, I could do this all day. And then you have Bucky, who's like literally crawling on the ground. He grabs like one of Tony's legs by the ankle. Tony turns around and kicks him. And then Steve knocks him to the ground, takes the shield, and he beats on Tony's helmet with the shield until it cracks open. And then when it looks like Steve is literally about to decapitate Tony, he actually smashes down the arc reactor to depower the suit. That's the same tactic Walker used on this guy. Now, it's unclear if there was the decapitation or if he literally just kept beating the shield into the guy's chest until he died. But I want to say that it was probably decapitation. Decapitation America. That's what's happening. But basically, even though we didn't see a lot, I feel like we saw enough to leave everybody in shock. And I was like, damn, I can't believe they showed that on Disney Plus. And, when he put the shield back on, you just saw, like, if you pay attention to Russell's acting, like, his head was just kind of twitching. Like, dude, this guy's losing it. And mind you, this is pre-serum. This is before he took the super soldier serum off screen. And I couldn't believe it. Now, part of me is like, you know what? Good for him. I mean, shit. Hey, even though he wasn't the one responsible for killing Battlestar, at the same time, Carly literally proved to be the kind of person she said she wasn't. I'm not a terrorist. I'm not an extremist. I'm just trying to do what's right. And you literally killed the brother. Now, trust and believe, part of me is like, what if Battlestar is actually alive? I was actually watching one of my other, YouTube channels I love to watch, like, was it New Rock Stars, Everything Always, or, look, I watch like half a dozen other YouTubers who do this kind of stuff. And one of them was like, I don't know if it's likely, given the fact that we heard the crack when, it's hard to tell what actually killed Battlestar, like the hit that Carly dealt him, or the impact of being, slammed into that pillar, which snapped his neck, because it sounded like there was a crack as soon as he got hit. So maybe the impact of the punch maybe like broke one of his ribs or something. And then when he hit the pillar, that snapped his neck. But either way, that dude did. It would be so awful. Well, I mean, if it turns out he was just knocked out cold, and maybe he came back, he came to, and he's still alive, and then Walker realizes what he has done, that would be really messed up. But at the same time, it's like we saw him take the super soldier serum vial. That was the one that Zemo couldn't get to and smash before he got hit upside the head with the shield, which makes me wonder. I'm no expert in physics, and this is pre-serum when Walker threw the shield at Zemo's head. I'm surprised it didn't kill him, but then again, I gotta look back at some various other moments in Steve Rogers' history with the shield. I'm talking like a normal human being, not somebody with some armor, not someone who's like a robot or alien, but getting hit by that shield. I know it's not super heavy, but it's vibranium. Well, allegedly, because I mean, this is the shield that Cap from the alternate timeline gave to Sam, so I don't know. You would think that would have probably bruised him or killed him or something, because it hit him pretty damn hard. But basically, he took the vial, and then later in the episode, after the Dora Milaje kicked his ass, he was talking with a Battlestar about if you had the serum, would you take it? Now, I'm not sure how much serum is necessary for a person to transform, like one of those vials, like could he split in two? Given that Battlestar said he would take it, and they're supposed to be buddies, I'm a little surprised that he didn't offer, hey, I got a vial, you want to split it? Like cracking a cold one and we both become super soldiers? Maybe since they would split the vial, it wouldn't be as effective if, let's just say, one of them took it. But at the same time, it would give them both the edge necessary to stand a better chance against, soldiers or Dora Milaje. That's just my opinion. But I mean, I don't know. Maybe he did give some to Hawkins. I don't know, but Lamar. But in any case, I do feel like, this obviously was a mirror of what happens in the real world, where police brutality comes to effect. And I use police brutality because Walker is an agent, U.S. agent in the comics. That's an alternative name for him. He's an agent of the United States, and he abused his powers. And again, I don't want to say this dude was helpless, because he was a super soldier, but he was pleading for his life. And it was filmed by a lot of people about the brutality. And it's ironic, obviously this was filmed back in like 2019 or, maybe 2020 has some slight reshoots, but we're currently, April 2021. We're currently in the trial about, what happened to George Floyd. And this has been going on for like weeks now. So it's just interesting how real this is, where people have footage of what happened, but it's a major question mark as to the person who committed the murder. Will they actually be consequences? So I'm wondering, if you look at episode 3 at the end, when Hawkins and Walker went to check on Zemo, but he wasn't there because he got broken out by Falcon and Bucky. And I think Walker was like, you talking about walking on the dark side to get this job done, but do you really think people, the government will care how we get the job done? Meaning that, hey, no matter what routes we take, if we get the job done, nobody's going to care. And you also look at the end of episode 2, when Sam's like, hey, the reason that we shouldn't even work together is the fact that you work directly with the government, meaning that you have to go through a lot of paperwork and all this stuff to cross certain borders while we are free agents. So I honestly don't know if Walker and Battlestar had clearance to be in that country. So to actually execute this guy in another country, most likely without, government permission, and it's now worldwide news, that's not a good look. You could argue that the government could be like, oh, well, now we got a white super soldier on our side and he's the Captain America. This is showing that America, shouldn't be dealt with. I feel like there are two sides to this coin. But then you could also look at it as, the Flag Smashers, they're radicals. They blew up a GRC building with people on the inside. We're finally fighting back, So this is sending a message. But then at the same time, it's the whole legacy of Cap and the Shield. Like, I honestly could see both sides of this debate. Also, just the asterisk here, just seeing that these rogue super soldiers are, going around the world, I feel like this, in conjunction with WandaVision and who knows what the other shows will bring to the table, I really do feel like the MCU is doing a decent job of getting the general public afraid of mutants, super powered individuals. But also you look at the fact that, sorry, lost my train of thought there. I shouldn't have made that tangent, but I just had to put that in the video somewhere. There's only 2 episodes left, so there's only so much time that could be worked into this, because I really do feel like John Walker, I don't know if he's going to die, because, it's possible that if the Thunderbolts are actually implemented into the MCU, I could see him brought into the fold, because he fights for America. His views of how to get the job done are just different from Sam's. Just going back to the conversation between Lamar and John about their tour in Afghanistan to get those 3 medals of honor, it's like, yeah, those 3 medals to remind me of the worst day of my life. And it's like, think about what we had to do to get those medals. They doesn't seem very heroic. So he's kind of like, Bucky, in the sense of, the means justify the ends. So I do feel like the same could be true about Walker. And I could be wrong about this, but we don't see the faces of the 2 women who walk up to the table to ask for his autograph. But towards the very end of the episode, when we get like a panning circle shot of everybody who's actually seen Walker did what he did to the Flag Smasher, there are 2 women who seem to be a little bit closer than everyone else to the scene, and then they're in shock. Based on their hair color, I'm kind of like, are these the same 2 women who asked for the autograph? So I'm curious, if Walker is going to just step away and, the weight of what he just did sink in. Will he surrender the shield because he realized what he just did? He tarnished the Captain America legacy, and he sees what the serum is doing to him. So does he give up the shield to, Sam and Bucky, or do they take the shield from him because of what he just did? I don't know. I mean, in the trailer, we do see, Sam back in his home state. He's like throwing the shield at trees, practicing. So he gets the shield at some point. I'm just wondering how it happens. Like I said, there's only 2 episodes left. There's no telling what's going to happen. But do you think John Walker was justified in what he did? Look, the way he did it publicly, no, I don't think so. You could argue like, yeah, he was emotionally driven. I mean, it was literally kill or be killed. Like, Carly blew up a freaking building. GRC, trust him or not, that was messed up. And she has proven to be a terrorist, even though she claims not to be. I'm not saying die. It's like Sam said, blood isn't always the answer, but Zemo, I don't know. I just feel like, remember the narrative thing? Nobody saw Battlestar get killed aside from, Bucky, Sam, and the Flag Smashers. So the public just saw John Walker execute this guy. They didn't see the, situation leading up to that case. Not to mention the fact that Carly was in the crowd when it happened. I'm like, girl, you better get your ass out of here before he spots you. I don't know. Because the Flag Smashers don't really have any leverage right now. All the serum is destroyed aside from the one that wasn't, and that's the one that Walker used on himself. So they're pretty much, I don't know. I ain't no telling what they're going to do. Plus, again, she did conspire to kill Captain America. So I don't know. Plus, it's like, well, Steve Rogers killed people too. He did. All right, well, that's all I got for this particular video. Let me know, do you think anything's going to happen to John Walker? Do you think he's just going to be able to walk away from this? Do you think he will surrender the shield, or will Sam and Bucky take it? How they going to feel about it? So let's talk about it more in the comment section below. Do you like when I do videos like this, which are not about the specific drama series, but more so on the fantasy side, even though this show is very realistic? And if you'd like to donate to the channel, feel free to do so on PayPal or Cash App.